I'm going to be going through and ranking all of the Halloween Man fragrances that I own from the line. I'm going to be going from obviously my least favorite to my all-time favorite. Now, as of recording this, I did purchase Halloween Man My World, one of the newer releases, and I'll have a video on that probably next week or the following week once it arrives. I also am looking forward to purchasing Halloween Man Pulse, which is apparently a brand new addition to the line that hasn't yet reached US markets. It is available through UK sellers, but you gotta pay like $80 for shipping plus the $45 for the fragrance. And if you know Halloween Man, I don't think it's worth it, so I'm gonna happily wait on that. Probably buy this autumn or winter. So we're gonna kind of jump into it. I gotta give a shout out again to Christopher Cologne ASMR. He did a shout out on his channel recently, and I think a few of you newcomers might have come from that. So welcome. Thank you again, Chris. And I'm actually excited because in that video he talked about one of the fragrances in the line that we're going to discuss pretty much off rip. So I got my notes here, so bear with me. But yeah, so Halloween Man is a fragrance line based out of Spain, and I know that they received a lot of recognition. I think back in like 2016 or 2018, as the one and only Jeremy Fragrance had reviewed one of their fragrances, Halloween Man Shot. So that's kind of where a lot of people might have gotten a bit of knowledge on the brand. But I'm a huge fan. I think they're some of the best affordable fragrances out there that sort of are really underappreciated, as you can typically find them for anywhere from $30 to $50, and they really do their part. So this is going to be really cool, and also for some of you it might be an introduction. So, sit back, relax, and let's go through it. So, the other thing to note, aside from me not having the two newer releases with the one coming, I've heard about Halloween Man Tattoo, which apparently is a discontinued fragrance that I've looked everywhere, man, and I sometimes don't believe it existed just because I've never seen a person, like, I think I've seen one video with somebody, like, owning it, but I guess it must just not be, like, in circulation much, so I can't speak on that. So I won't even make a comment because I've never seen or read much about it. But we have 6 fragrances. Let's jump in, and we're going to start with my least favorite Halloween Man fragrance, and that has to be Halloween Man Rock On. Now I know that looks, it sounds a bit shady me saying that, because as you can tell the bottle has been used pretty well, and that's because I don't think really any of these fragrances necessarily are bad by any means, but the reason Rock On is my least favorite is because to me this is sort of a really basic, run-of-the-mill fragrance that initially when I purchased it I was kind of expecting it to be a little more unique, but to me it doesn't really outshine what the rest of Halloween Man fragrances. I would say it's the most lacking. For the note breakdown, we have lemon, bamboo, cardamom, with heart notes of lavender, violet leaf, sea notes, So, I mean, right off rip, you get a bit of your standard, citrusy opening. The bamboo and the cardamom here. The lemon does a good job at being pretty bright. The bamboo and the cardamom, smoothing it out, not making it too overly citrusy. As it settles, you do get the C notes in lavender sort of as the main focus in the heart notes, giving it that kind of slightly, aquatic and floral. It pairs well with those top notes. But the reason this is so low is because, again, while these are well crafted, and this one I would say is pretty, good for, basic daytime wear, maybe some school wear, if you're just going out and about during the summer months, spring or summer months, and just want to smell fresh. But that's kind of really it. I feel like when I look into the mass of fresh fragrances I own, this one really doesn't stand out much. You sure will smell clean, fresh, and with the amber musk and sandalwood, it gives it a little more body so it doesn't taper out too fast. However, when I first got this, it kind of gave me a bit of like barbershoppy at first. And I think I forgot too. There is apple in this as well. There is an apple note. I believe it's a red apple note. And you do get that a bit on the top. I might be wrong with the lemon, so I feel kind of stupid now, but there is an apple note in here. But that's kind of the key thing, is even with that apple note, it's not really there for much. It's sort of in the opening. And I was thinking initially when I read the notes that maybe this would be kind of like a little more versatile, maybe rolling into the fall, sort of like a coral fantasy with having that sort of little autumn tinge. But this one is pretty strict to the spring and summer months, I feel. And again, once it tapers down, it's nothing really offensive. It's not bad by any means. And I believe this might have been discontinued recently. But when I look at the Halloween Man line as a whole, this one to me is just, it's fine, but I just feel like it could have been, I don't know, something a little more for how it lasts on my skin. This one usually gets about 4 hours for me personally. So it's kind of like a simple reacher if I just want to go out quick and just freshen up a bit. But all in all, it is just my least favorite personally, which is why I put it at number 6. So I don't know where my world will rank. Maybe I'll update that in the review. I still feel like an idiot. I forgot the apple nut. The thing is literally red, like crazy. But that's number 6. Now going into number 5, we have, I think this is was their release prior to these 2 new rollouts with My World and Pulse. And this one's number 5, just ahead of Rock On. And that one is going to be Halloween Man Hero. And you can see this kind of rainbowy kind of look. It's like yellow, pink, and blue for the bottle design, which is pretty cool. All of these will maintain the classic Halloween Man shape. So this was a really interesting go. I believe this did come after Rock On, but while Rock On is definitely a summer spring scent, maybe I could see it being a little like versatile to a degree. Like, if you wore it in the fall, it's not a big deal. It's not like a major, head scratcher. But I could see it. Not that I think it, but I could see it. Halloween Man Hero is more of a summer fresh take, or summer aquatic take from Halloween Man, which up until that point they were making a lot more of those fall winter rich fragrances. And with Halloween Man Hero we get lemon, ginger, mandarin, with heart notes of lavender, sea notes, and ozonic notes, and base notes of amber, moss, and some woody notes. Now, I think, oh, I almost forgot. Let's get it on the other side to be safe. Now, right off rip from the spray, I get a really kind of strong bite of lemon, or sorry, of the ginger and the mandarin, with that lemon being kind of in the background. And then immediately, not even 10 seconds later, those sea notes really shine through, very aquatic, very much like an exaggerated sort of sea note, not subtle, but very, very prominent sea notes. You also are getting the lavender too, pairing very nicely with those rich aquatic notes. It does a very good job still maintaining the bite from the citrus here. And then probably after a couple minutes, I say probably, I've worn it before, but usually after about 5 minutes, the amber and the moss kind of help bring down those water notes, combine it, and add a really nice touch. Very slight woody notes, not too much. You're not going to get really a lot of woods from this. It really is that citrus and the aquatic notes doing a lot of the work here, with that amber giving it some more depth. Now, I was actually pretty surprised with this fragrance. For a freshie in the summer, it has really good projection. You're about with 6 to 7 sprays, you can get a pretty good foot for that first hour, with that scent profile being very, very prominent. You'll smell it on you, you'll smell it on your clothes. It's a bit kind of almost sporty in a way, like, I don't, it's sporty, it's bright, it's energetic too, so that feeling is why I kind of give it the sportiness, and it's clean too. It's got that well put together, vibrant kind of pull that, sometimes you don't get from all fresh fragrances, sometimes they're a little more close, a little more fresher and lighter. This one's got a bit more density to it, most likely from that amber and the real big focus on these sea notes. I mean, they're big in this. I actually would tell somebody that's on a very strict budget that if you're looking for something that kind of pops this, and it's a bit, pops a little sweetness to it, but very summery and almost in a way refreshing, I do think Halloween Man Hero is very good. I feel like it can almost be, in my opinion, a little on the too sweet end. You wouldn't want to overspray it a bit. I almost feel like it feels sticky. And with the I think I'm drawing a blank. No, but no, with that really bright citrus opening and the lavender being so kind of common in a lot of fragrances, I can kind of see the profile being a little on the synthetic end to some people. I mean, you probably know how I feel about the original Rasasi Oas. It can kind of give that vibe because it's so prominent and strong, and a bit pungent, that it can be a little synthetic to the nose. But I can see some people not really seeing it as that. And if you're, if you don't see it like that, then this is actually a pretty cool fragrance to have. Very nice daily driver, primarily for the summertime. You could use it in the spring, obviously, but this thing I think will shine greatly in the summer. If you're, going out and about in the town, or just even, inside while the sun is, sun is fresh and the doors of the shop are open, and you just want to smell like you're going to or coming from the beach, I do think this is actually a really good fragrance. But I feel like Halloween Man could still make a better, I don't want to say better, but I think they have plenty of time to really give it an all and make a truly unique kind of summer fragrance, or a more versatile fragrance like some of their other ones, especially in the profile that's aiming to be kind of a summer shanty. But that's Halloween Man Hero. For number 5. Now for number 4, we have a fragrance that was on my top 10 autumn fragrances list, and while it was pretty decent, I don't know, I forgot where I ranked it, at least in the full-fledged Halloween Man lineup, it finds itself at number 4 currently, and for a similar reason to what I listed in that video. But that fragrance is none other than the one that I referenced with Jeremy Fragrance, and that is Halloween Man Shot. If I remember correctly, this one is not in production. You can find them on resellers or eBay. Typically, it will run you about $80 to $100, and in that kit you get the bottle, which is, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is like 125 ml. Let me check. 125 ml. And I think it comes with like a 25 ml little bottle, like a little shot bottle. It's kind of funny. And this one is sort of the one that got Halloween Man more recognized, especially after Jeremy Fragrance reviewed it. Now, this is a really cool fragrance, in my opinion, scent-wise, and what they do here. You're getting top notes of cardamom, lemon, and pink pepper, with heart notes of lavender, orange blossom, and sea notes, and base notes of tonka bean, musk, and leather. And if I remember correctly, I think the lemon is a bit of like a lemon daiquiri, like accord. And what's not listed is basil is also a note, primarily listed as an Halloween Man Shot. And what you get here, despite lemon being pretty common in the last few fragrances, is you get a very sophisticated, elegant kind of smell. Maybe not elegant, but sophisticated for sure. This is spicy. But also fresh, alluring, and warm. And that kind of daiquiri basil accord here, it just adds this layer of complexity and appeal to it. You're not able to fully pinpoint what it is, which kind of makes it alluring. You don't know 100% what it is that you're kind of smelling, which is good for when you're looking for people to kind of come up and ask. It kind of fits the profile of going to a nice dive bar where everyone's knows each other and is playing pool and the lights are dim and everyone's kind of enjoying themselves. This is kind of a fragrance I could see fitting that, but also it could fit really nicely as a date night fragrance at a nice place. It's in a way a bit mysterious with not being able to fully kind of pinpoint what it is, and it makes it alluring because you get that citrusy spice, but then it comes, it cools down, but yet it remains really present in its warmth, the muskiness, and that sort of rocks. I just find the scent very fascinating and a really cool take that I wish they would give it another go and release like a Halloween Man shot on the rocks or extreme. Because while I personally love this scent profile, it does not last that long. If you layer this up 7 or 8 sprays, initially you're going to get a nice 1.5 to 2 foot projection. It's going to be very strong. You're going to smell it for sure, but it tapers off once it hits that warmth and those spices cool down. It ends up only lasting you about anywhere from the 3 to 5 hour mark, give or take. So, and for something that definitely suits best in the fall and winter time. And on nights where you're going to be on a date, you're going to be sweating, you don't know what to say to your significant other or partner. I wish it lasted a bit longer. If this thing could, if this thing could project a bit more and be a little more longer lasting, this could be a contender for one of the best Halloween Man fragrances in my opinion. But with its current price right now, while I do think that the profile is unique and fun and alluring, for $80 to $100, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it to go out and seek it. It might not be for everybody, but at least in my collection, I do really enjoy it. I wear it on occasions. And if you really like it and you get that double bottle kit, then it's actually pretty good. That's the one I'm mostly using. But Halloween Man shot would be number 4. So getting into the top 3, noting my camera time, we're going to talk about another one, another classic, the original Halloween Man. This is the 200 ml bottle featured in the thumbnail of my Autumn Fragrances video. This is a sort of dupe take on Paco Rabanne's 1 Million. And what we get here is violet leaf, basil, and lavender, with heart notes of ginger, cinnamon, and apple, and base notes of leather, amber, and musk. I got plenty to spare, take 2. That's nice. While it is that sort of dupe of Paco Rabanne's, this is an overall incredible daily driver for your fall and winter occasions. I mean, your fall and winter days, I should say. It starts off very nice. The cardamom and basil really pulling the weight here. Not really much on that citrus end, which is sort of good. It doesn't sweeten it up. The orange blossom, though. Or sorry, I'm lying to you. How could I lie to you like that? I'm looking ahead. But the apple and the cinnamon accord and the heart notes take that sort of smooth, rich opening and add some pop to it. And then after a few minutes, you get into the leather, amber, and musk, 3 classics of a lot of fragrances we know. The leather, especially on the forefront, and the amber too, warming and making this extremely masculine and yet not too deep and too heavy. And in fact, it's really one of the smoothest fragrances from Halloween Man. And I don't know off rip Paco Rabanne 1 Million's price, but I know this is for 200 ml. It ran me about $50. So I know it's a lot less than Paco Rabanne's 1 Million. I could be wrong. it's a little nicer, and it sprays a lot more evenly. Even now, I can smell it really, really strong, and it's getting into that. It's getting into that leatherness, and I'm a big fan of amber. But yeah, overall, just well executed. For 200 ml, it'll last you quite the time, and it finds itself as number 3 because it's just an overall great, well-rounded pick. You know, I don't really see it being versatile in that scheme of maybe some summer nights, but really, even though it's only for the year, it does the job great, and I don't think you'll be able to put it down. So that's Halloween Original. So number 2 is one that has actually slowly climbed my ladder as to my favorite Halloween Man fragrances. I think one of the most slept on ones in the line, and that has to go to number 2, which will definitely be worn this fall, and that is Halloween Man Mystery. Nice matte black finish. Halloween Man Mystery hits us with, make sure I have the notes properly here. We get mandarin, cardamom, our notes of lavender, orange blossom, and violet, with base notes of patchouli, musk, and leather. And there's also, I listed beside it, there's also a hazelnut in this, which I believe is, I think, part of the heart notes. I could be mistaken. This one I sprayed earlier because it was the one that I kind of neglected a bit over the last few weeks with just buying new fragrances. But this one is really unique in it that I think it checks a lot of boxes. Number 1, it is another great daily driver for not only the fall and winter, but also spring on those cooler days, and even summer nights for like date nights. You get it's such a unique scent to me because you get the mandarin, the orange blossom, that lavender. The hazelnut adds this really faint nuttiness to the back, which does a lot in the overall profile. And with the basil and cardamom, it takes all that, makes sure it never reaches too high, never gets too sweet, too bright. And it creates this really appealing scent profile. I don't really know where to pinpoint it in the line of like fragrances that I own. I almost thought I sprayed it on me, right? But I did earlier. That's why I'm kind of like phantom scenting here. But, and especially, or I should point out, with the base of the patchouli and the musk here, this thing is just a very versatile fragrance. I mean, for a scent that's really gilded towards those cooler times of the year, this is a very alluring date night fragrance. Again, it has some sweetness, it has some spiciness, it's got a little tinge of nuttiness, and I wouldn't necessarily, it's not deep, but it is rich, and it is alluring. I've been using that word a lot. This really feels like you're walking through Salem, Massachusetts in the months of October. Like, all the best things about the autumn season is in here. The slight hints of floral you get in people's homes. it's just so hard to really give a perfect description. Aside from that, this could be a lot of people's go-to this year, and at a price tag at just around $35 for 125 ml. It's a steal. It's great. It's just such a conversation starter. You know, you're gonna smell great. You're gonna smell sophisticated and just super appealing. There's just so much to this that has grown on me because initially I couldn't lock it down, but I gave it more and more tries, and especially as I've gotten older, it's really good. It's just really good. I feel like I'm kind of tinging. I feel some of you might be disappointed in my descriptions, but you know, I know these ones so well just from just the sense and just the vibes overall from them. But this one, while it is hard to pinpoint, I think that truly is the mystery of it. So, yeah, number 2. And before I read you guys number 1, you might already know it. It's been a common theme on these lists. Make sure not only do you check out and show support to Christopher Colon's ASMR, but another guy that's been with this channel for a while, who makes really cool content on the short side and the video side for some fragrance recommendations, some that I've taken into consideration as I prepare another cart for order. Nick's Fragrances. Check him out, you know, show support. You know, I was blessed with someone as cool as Chris reaching out, and, you know, I want you guys to check out other creators as well. So, you hear those cars, they're racing to go check them out, so go do that. Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, you knew it, I knew it, but we're going to talk about it again. My favorite fall fragrance of all time, and that is Halloween Man X. A fragrance that is so crucial to me that sometimes I only wear it in the month of October because as you can see, fragrances in the line. This is personally a great fragrance for any man that wants to really be noticed, really smell different, and kind of stand out a bit. It has all the great benefits of like a strong, protruding fragrance, but also not being offensive because it's just so many things that we smell in the day to day. The coffee, the smoke, that booziness in there too. And you get really good projection from this thing. Usually 5 to 7 sprays will last me about more like 6 to 8 sprays will get me to about 6 hours comfortably. It's definitely not some beast mode fragrance, but it's just such a tried and true, well crafted autumn fragrance. It can be worn in the winter as well, but I think this thing is truly to the name Halloween. In the month of October, dude, this thing will be your best friend. You can smell the flannel. You should be wearing a flannel when you wear this thing. I sprayed on my hands. But yeah, I mean, I feel like I might have got a couple notes wrong in this video, and I do apologize if I did. But that doesn't take away really from the overall appreciation and care I have for this collection. I'm trying to get them all. But if you've never tried Halloween Man X, you can find it on Joma Shop for around, I think, $40, even on Amazon for $40. It used to be about 30, but it's gone up, I think, because of popularity. But if I could give you guys one recommendation to really try, and you had to take my word on it, it's try this. And remember, if you wear this thing from like late September into end of October, I mean, you're gonna pull compliments. I know that's hard to say because nothing guarantees compliments, but this one is just so good, so mature, so masculine, and there is amber in this. I know that for the base notes as well. So the amber keeps the warmth and the depth really going here. Even now, I'm getting the lavender and I'm getting the muskiness and the amber really pairing well, but the cardamom is sort of on that forefront. The coffee too, and the booziness is subtle as it tapers down. But it's there, and it adds, again, just this richness to it that it needs. Otherwise, it would be just too smoky and just a little maybe overbearing. I know someone's gonna say, dude, clear your throat, but we power through. But yeah, guys, so that's my long ranking of all of my Halloween Man fragrances. I kind of rambled a bit more. I don't like to go too robotic on scripts. I just prefer to bring the whispers and the tapping, the tingles to you guys. It's more just fun for me. But I really hope you liked this video, and if you did, check out my other content, my other fragrance content. Check out Nick's Fragrances, Christopher Claudius, or tell him you're stopping by from the sorority. And listen, guys, any recommendations that you want me to make a video on, shoot me a comment. I try to do orders pretty frequently every few weeks, so if you can send me some, any price range, preferably some budget ones that you think are goated that I haven't done, let me know down below, and I'm gonna try to get them in. So thank you guys so much